an asshole.
So you guys, you all know our resident affirmative action charity case, Dre, right? You know we all tolerate Dre. Nobody likes Dre. We just tolerate Dre. Dre sent in a video, and normally you Hanyakers, you send me videos that pain me. You say, let's make Cappy agitated. Let's pain Cappy. And that's what I was expecting from Dre. But he sent what was a pleasure. A video titled "There Will Never Be a Revolution in America" by Shahid Bolsen. And I was like, okay, I'll start listening to it. But I gotta say, on all aspects and accounts, forget even the message this guy was saying. What primarily impressed me about him is this guy is a perfect public speaker. I'm incredibly impressed with not that my opinion matters to these people. I'm just pointing out. Vera Dark is someone that I'm like, that's a very good public speaker. A lot of people, her success, like when a car really works well, Toyota Corolla, it's because it works, because there is no problem. Kind of like when you're you don't realize you're healthy until you're sick, right? And then when you get healthy, it's just back to normal. That's the sign of an exceptional body. The sign of an exceptional car is a Toyota Corolla that doesn't break down. And the sign of an exceptional speaker is somebody who doesn't make mistakes, but you don't see it because you don't see the mistakes. Vera Dark has a good cadence, delivery. I'm very impressed. This guy, now I haven't seen any of his other videos. If you need the perfect example for what's the public speaker group, Toastmasters, or if you're just in speech class, this video should be put up front and center. The guy, just delivery, cadence, no ifs, ands, or ums. And I think it was scripted. I don't think he just did this on the fly. I think it was scripted, but he delivered it in such a way it didn't look like he was reading. It felt entirely conversational. The only way you would know it was not conversational is because it was written too well. His points were precise, bullseye, inside. I mean, just it was with a sniper rifle. He was hitting bullseyes. And so I'll give you the quick analysis because that's what Dre paid me to do. His main thesis, let me get his name, Shahid Bolsen. His main thesis was that there's never going to be a revolution in America because we're all a bunch of NPCs. You cannot have revolution. You cannot have something go against the established order without independent thought. And his main evidence that there is no independent thought was the lack of true art. He leads in with it. He's like, you have no music. You have no books. He makes a sniper shot from 1,000 yards away. He says, all of Hollywood's movies are just remakes. 100% true. I can't remember. He's like, yeah, and you got your standard girl boss, minority, whatever. It's all formulaic. It's bread and circuses. It's slop served to the people, and the people just eat it up. And his whole point was the lack of art indicates a lack of independent thought or creativity, and people who are not creative, people who are not independent thinking cannot form or lead or execute revolutions. And whereas I don't disagree with that premise, you're right. There is no art. There is no creativity. And you would need some creative leaders to have a revolution. I disagree with the premise in that that's not the only way a revolution can happen. And now we leave his somewhat narrowly focused thesis, which is not wrong. And we go into boring history. And I think people, you get a charismatic enough leader, you'll get the sheep to believe anything. What's his name? Lenin. Hey, you're poor, right? What, do you think that, now, not to slam on the Russian peasants back in the day in the serfs, But here comes a guy, hey, this isn't fair. You're right, probably isn't. Serfdom isn't fair. I got an idea. We'll just take all the means of productions and everything will be free. What? Yeah, that's somewhere in there. Somebody should have said, hey, wait a second. How exactly that going to work? Like, we're all paid and there's no income. Like, how? Why am I going to work particularly hard? And then we had the Soviet experiment, which lasted 70 horrible years. And so I don't know if I go along with the thesis that creatives, in the real sense, independent thought, I don't think that's the only way revolutions can happen. There are other catalysts. There are other sociological environments, historical examples. Well, I think the sheep are just as likely to be revolutionary as independent minded because they're the masses you motivate. Now, I'm not very familiar with Chinese history, but Mao Zedong must have he must have gotten the sheep to go along back then. What, 700 million sheep? I don't know how many people were in China 40, 50, 60 years ago. 70? 1949, the war was 50, 75 years ago. And maybe we're just talking about different roles within the revolution where the sheep will go with that. For example, a fad is a form of a revolution, a very minor form of a revolution. But somebody somewhere said, let's poof our bangs, right, in the 80s. This guy probably ain't old enough to remember it. And the sheep went along with it. Every girl in the 80s started poofing their bangs. Let's do the cold shoulder. And all the women were on sheep. They did. Somebody there was, hey, ladies, somebody there was the creative. And what I don't understand, I understand, but I'm impressed with. I can't comprehend the intelligence that goes into it. How do you convince the first gal to poof her bangs? Like, I would, if I could have a wish, I'd say, all right, put me wherever it is in America that the first girl was convinced to poof her bangs. I want to see that. Like, it's there, right? In the history of the world, there's the first American gal to poof her bangs. Who was it? When did it happen? 1983, 1984? Becky McBeckerson over in Fresno, California? Who was it? I want to see it. I want to see it. I know what I'm going to do, but how? She just to say, I'm going to poof my bangs for shits and giggles. That's too creative. That's too creative. So I think there's the creative, but then there's the spark and then there's the fuel. The creatives, the leaders have to be the spark. The fuel is always there. I think you could always, hey, are you poor? It's those rat bastard capitalists. Does your life suck because you spat out too many kids and they're all half siblings because you can't keep your legs shut? It's not your fault. It's those people's fault. And we're going to give you free money, which is always the argument. Although I would say back in the day, it was like, freedom from not being slaves no more. Or serfs. Yeah, you get to keep your own money. Now, ironically, we're going back. No, you don't get to keep your own money. We're going to give everybody else free money, but we're going to need to take all your money to do that. America's failing because it's a capitalist system. Like, no, that sounds kind of socialist. It is socialist. But removing semantics aside, I think there could still be a revolution because you don't need that many creatives. You don't need that many shepherds leading the sheep. You really don't. And I've kind of seen it now. I'm old enough to remember there was still a traditional nuclear family until the baby boomer women said, fuck that shit. We know better than all the history of the world. We're boomer feminists. Why is no one visiting me in the nursing home? That goes against tradition. And the revolution was a slow, inexorable march through the institutions, which has been somewhat successful, somewhat not, in America. Where you literally think about that. Think about how the Overton window has slowly been moved. It was a slow revolution of sheep. Where you got a lot of young women now believing, yes, we should not have borders. We should just let everyone in. And I'm going to vote for free shit for those people who aren't even citizens. And then I'm not going to be able to make the connection as to why domestic men are not working. or protecting me in the subways or whatever else. That was not done by that is a revolution that took slow, incremental, microscopically incremental steps, corrupting and co-opting individual minds one by one through the public and college school systems. So now here we are, like, it's ridiculous. People are waving some other country's flag in our I don't care which country it is. I guess we go round them up now, don't we? Whoa, wait a second. Did you know immigrants cream? We got people like 47 flavors of gender. You'll get I'm a libertarian. I'm like, yeah, not everyone's straight. I get it. But we're going to entertain what was the bullshit that you millennials came up with because you just didn't want to work for a job or produce anything of value. So you just said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to collect Pokemon cards, but it's going to be types of sexuality I am depending on the day and the mood. Oh my God. Trisha, I'm so pansexual today. Now, we don't round these people up, but we call bullshit on it. Oh my God, you hate those people. The revolution happened just on a very, very, very long and slow simmer. Like, I got to argue with people. Okay, let me give Shahid another example, at least here in America. The revolution, here's one of the incredibly successful examples of this, let's just call it left woke delusional revolution in the United States. We actually have it to the point that if you suggest women raise their own children, you are called a sexist and you can get fired. Right? Let's go back 50 years ago. That would have been, of course, women should raise their children. What kids need their moms? What ridiculousness is that? Now, women are highly pressured to outsource their children to complete randos to raise them and bring shame if they were to stay at home and raise their own kids. Forget the shame. Guys, emperor has no clothes moment. You should raise your fucking kids. Yeah, you should stay home and raise your kids. But then I'll lose out on my career. Yes, it's called a trade-off. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You do not get both instances. You can either have kids and raise them, or you can have a career and not have kids. You cannot have both. And you try to have both, your career will suffer because you will make less money because you do have to come off the line to have the kid a little bit. Right? And then your kids are going to suffer because you're going to hybrid it. You can't do both. You're going to go work your career, and then you're going to outsource your child to somebody who is not their mother. Or if you're lucky enough to have a stay-at-home dad, whatever remote work, that would be good too. But in general, we have it. This is how successful the non-creative revolution has been. We have convinced people, mainly women, but some men too, that the best thing for a child is to be outsourced to daycare and then consequently, after a certain age, be raised by teachers in the public schools. And the best is for women, historically speaking, to go into debt for worthless degrees generally, to then slave away for a corporation and not raise their children and pay taxes for other people's children. They've got women so convinced to vote against their best interests where it's like, oh, first, don't raise your own kids. Second, go into debt. Third, for a worthless degree. Fourth, so you can work for a corporation. Fifth, for debatably, arguably, barely living wages. And sixth, to pay taxes. For seventh, for complete randos you voted to raise taxes to help pay for their kids, parasitic people who just don't even work, period. For eighth, for you to pay those taxes. While bitching and whining that you can't afford living expenses and daycare and all. I mean, there wasn't some creative, maybe there was some creative genius behind it, but you didn't need an army of them. You needed one or two people. I don't know who. There would be another just as fascinated as I would be with who was the creative behind convincing Becky, the very first 80s girl, to poof her banks. Who was the person or the committee or the group of people that says, hey, you know what? I bet you there's a way we could get women to be against raising their own kids and to find it so insulting that we could then get, I guess I could see socialists, fascists, totalitarians, communists wanting to have the kids outsourced so they turn into future voting units of voting slaves. But it wasn't the American Revolutionary War where a third of the people like, we're doing this, we're taking it, fuck the British, let's dump some tea. That was a very conscious revolution. I would even say the Iranian Revolution, uh, overthrowing the Shah, very conscious. You had a philosophy or a religion behind it, a theocracy behind it. But that's clear. That's conscious. This revolution took, it wasn't a pew pew revolution. There weren't gunfire shit, but it's been successful. Took 60, 70 years. But who came up with that idea, right? Let's get women to abandon raising their children. And if you dare suggest that they raise children, that would be such a social sin. We could get you ostracized and fired and ruin your career, ruin your life. That's a revolution. That goes against genetics. I'm going to guess, ladies, I could be wrong. I presume you want to raise your kids? It's an honest question. Because I'm from a generation where everyone got divorced and parents just kind of like, kids, here's some keys. So I don't know, but I got to go back in all of human history. And it seemed like women wanted, I mean, you guys got boobs. Sorry. I don't know if you knew that. That's what they're for. And they're fun to play with for the guys, but I know, gross and disgusting. And let's kill everyone. I presume you genetically want to raise your children. Do you? Or do you not? I don't know. But you sure were convinced you didn't want to. You sure were convinced that the most important thing was your career and paying taxes and buying and being a slave. That maybe one or two creatives, maybe a committee, but it wasn't a revolution. It wasn't a, but they were definitely sheep. That's my point. Half the population was sheep, and bravo to the left. Whoever the strategists were at the left from 70 years ago, that's genius. It is freaking genius. You got women to go against their genetics and stop raising their kids. I think, I don't know what deep communist philosopher thought of that one, but it was kind of, maybe not even the idea, but the execution where you just slowly convinced women through media and marketing and education that they shouldn't have to raise their kids. It's wicked, it's evil, it's vile, it's child abuse, but it's very impressive. But that was sheep. You motivated the masses. You got the momentum of the masses to do the thing for you. And so he's not wrong, but and he is right. Americans are asleep. They'll just let anything happen to them. But the revolution, I think there's different forms of revolution that can happen, especially slow, innocuous, clandestine. Oh, you're not wearing that skirt. That's so 2021. And there's that whole world of marketing and brainwashing. And what was the father of marketing? You guys mentioned him before. Propaganda. I didn't think humans were that easy to be brainwashed because, like, I was in school. I'm like, I hate all you teachers. You're all scum. I went to a religious school, by the way, and not only are teachers scum, but the religious people are scum too. You combine the two, like, super scum. Where'd y'all go? I can't find you on the internet. Some of you are dead, I know. Some of you, but most of you are still. Where'd you go? Why are you hiding? Where did you go, you fucking vermin? My hatred of these people. I forgot what my entire point was. But yeah, he's correct. The sheep are not going to wake up. They'll obey. But what if the motivation isn't necessarily profit, but revolution in itself? We're slowly going to turn Americans into socialists. We're slowly going to destroy the nuclear family. The vector we're going to do it through is through women. So the men are demoralized. And then we're going to divide everybody by other traits, whether it's race or gender or mental health, etc. I don't know. Aside from evil, I don't know what the point and purpose of it is. But you can have a revolution happen that way. Same as you can. Cold shoulder. Oh, what's the latest fashion, ladies? What's the coolest thing to do? What's the summer fashion for 2025? Oh my goodness. Ellen Vogue came out with an article. You know what my fashion is for 2025? Goodwill clothes for free. Yes. Actually, these shorts, like these are my working shirt. They got oil and stains on them because I'm going to work on the car again. So there you go. Good video. By the way, I linked to his video below. You should. It's a treat. It is a treat to listen to that speech. It's excellent. And it's also very insightful. You will not regret your time. And then, subscribe to his channel. An excellent public speaker. Excellent. And he's also right in what he's saying. Super chats. Wisco Nomad, $2. Obesity rate is too high to support a rebel. Well, that's true too. You're right. Froggy, 10,000 Korean wons. This analysis implies not only the U.S., but applies to not only the U.S., but to all modern nations, even non-liberal countries. The same holds true even when every society declines and hits rock bottom at a primitive level. Right. Didn't Korea, you guys just have an election where you went with the leftist guy who has like ties to Russia and China and North Korea? Free shit, everyone. Ignore that whole North Korea, South Korea thing. Ignore the map at night. Ignore that war. This is right. I just can't get behind humans anymore. I just like, no, I'm Machiavellian. I'm going to use you. You people are just lazy. You're trying to use me to screw me over. I'm just going to try and use you as much as possible now, too. Froggy, 5,001. I'm more black-pilled enough to be critical on undead chronic's position. Prepare the collapse and will men rise up. Rising up will requires more centuries. Here's another thing I've thought about. If men want to fight a revolution, what would we be fighting for? We'd be fighting for ideals and ideas. We'd be fighting for the future. We're not fighting for the people now, right? Look at the average American. Republican or Democrat. I mean, yeah, obviously the Democrats are officially stated as being parasitic. Republicans ostensibly say, no, we're anti-parasite. But then I deal with Republicans, and they're not all, of course, but most of them are scumbags, and they're cheating. Like the bankers? What do you think? The bankers were Democrats? I don't know. I don't think I worked with one Democrat banker. I don't think so. I think they're all Republicans. And here they are just lending out money and corporate sales, bro. People, I'm not, I have, who would I be fighting for? Bro, modern day America, you're fighting for broken families. Your folks probably couldn't keep the nuclear family together, right? Your siblings, half of them are probably voting parasitic. I'm sorry. Let's just be honest. The opposite sex. To both, I agree. I think we've kind of treated each other rather poor. Like you girls aren't going to go to war for the men, right? And we men sure the fuck aren't going. We're not protecting you on the subway. You do with that shit on your own. People in line, just the Walmart people, the boomers who stop in aisles, people not following. No, this is a debauched fucking shit society. If this was 1950s America, yeah, I'd go to bed. I'd go protect my grandma or grandmas and my grandpas. I'm not Gen X. Fuck off, Breakfast Club. They make every show mojo. Shut up. You're just the same as everyone else. Just turning into boomers. Why would I? No. Why would I protect you people from what you voted in, right? Minnesota, it's like, oh, I'd love to go to Minnesota. No, you know what's great to do to Minnesota? Let Minnesotans affect each other. Let them be by themselves. Minnesotans deserve themselves. Look at LA or San Francisco. It's great. You guys it's perfect. Why would you fight a revolution for good things when the people you fought the revolution for are going to hate you and fight back against you? Accuse you of fact, like they're not worth it. They're not worth it. They aren't. Uber noob, $5. On a serious note, I don't think there's enough of an American identity for American Revolution. Maybe a Southern or East Coast or a woman's one. Yeah, they've they've been we've all been balkanized, I guess, and no one's held up American ideals in a long time. Um, here's I'll make it even simpler for you, Uber noob. No guy's gonna fight a revolution for fat chicks. We're not. We're not. No, no. I'm not fighting a revolution for the opposite sex to still be ugly and not motivating and to hate my guy. I'm not. No, no. You deal with this yourself. Oh, there's invaders coming. I'll protect my little enclave here. The rest of you at Walmart and your women's studies degree, you guys are on your own. Fuck this shit. Oh no, the Chinese have San Francisco surrounded. Oh, that's just too bad. I wonder who's going to go in and rescue them. Wisco Nomad, $2. Can you do an episode on the Cali riots? I mean, I can. I don't want to. What? We let a bunch of people into this country to think that they are not Americans, and they're not. Liberal white women voted to give them free shit so they don't have to work. A state kind of formed around them in the form of in the state of California. And you're going to have to remove, I'm sorry, you're going to have to remove them physically. And that might have to resort to violence, unfortunately. You have a bunch of people who do not want to be part of this country, and you paid them free welfare. That's the very short analysis. I mean, there are immigrants who work, of course. They've been here a generation or two. What do you want me? You let non-Americans in, and it'd be one thing if you let non-Americans in, but you let anti-Americans in. You gave them free shit because it made liberal white women feel good. It's happened for generations. You didn't enforce your borders. People know you're a pushover. Surprise! I'm tired of. It's not a critique of you, Wisco, but I'm tired of explaining. Oh my God, he ate a bunch of donuts and then he got diabetes and he had to have his foot removed. Oh my God, she majored in dumb shit, went into debt, and now she needs a student loan bailout. The guy smoked and he got lung cancer. I don't want to babysit dumb Americans anymore. The person did the stupid thing and then there were stupid consequences. Surprise. I want to enjoy watching the people who called me a fascist and accused me of wanting to murder people with funny hats to the order of a genocidist. They accused me of being a genocidist because I said protect the borders, low taxes, and America. Yeah. And now they're all like, oh my God, there's people shitting in our subways and my problem. Oh, dude, all these Minneapolis people I still kind of know. Property taxes, man. Oh, your property taxes, man. Are you complaining? Because according to your logic about 20 years ago, you're a fascist. Shut up and pay your taxes. American, us along with California are done for. I wrote a book called Enjoy the Decline. I have it linked below. Read through it. It's a book that's 12 years old, a dozen years old, 13 years old. When America starts caring for me, and by me, I mean real Americans who worked hard and didn't collect the government, aren't parasitic, and want to be left alone, and aren't. When you start championing us, then I'll give a shit what America. In the meantime, my experiences with Americans have been probably about 80% negative. Lying, cheating, stabbing, bullshit parking tickets, bullshit rolling stop tickets, perpetually increasing property taxes, getting stood up all the time by women. Yes, that's important. You just can't get the girls. Shut up. We're done with that shit now. Watching people get divorced. Oh my God, we love the criminals so much. Oh my God. I love illegal aliens so much. No, fuck you people. You don't even take care of your citizens. Fuck off. Oh my God, the bad things are happening. Oh, wow. Let's get rid of fathers. Let's get a rule of law. Oh my God, it's falling apart. Come protect us from the Chinese. No, maybe we welcome our Chinese overlords. Ni hao. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, asshole consulting. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.